Did I say this was the best thing on TV? Because this show, The Penguin, is the best thing on TV. Best series, best movie, anything. It is the best story being played out in live action, on television, in theaters, anywhere right now. If you're not watching it, well, first of all, why are you watching this video? Second of all, go watch it. Dear God, you're missing out on one of the greatest things I've seen in a long time. So, after last week's crazy, wild history of Sophia, we're like back on track now. We're back in the modern age, dealing with present day stuff and the kind of fallout of what happened at the end of episode 3, where the Maronis caught Oz trying to backstab them. Sophia got wind of the fact that Oz was the one who killed her brother. Oz is screwed, and everybody's after him, and he's got to figure out what to do next because he has no allies at this point. So, yeah, reeling from the encounter with the Maronis, Oz has to think quick on his feet, as always, and he is off balance this entire episode. It's like it's nonstop kind of suspense this entire episode. He decides he's going to kidnap Maroni's son and demand his drugs back that they just took from him. That's going to be the ransom. Like, you give my drugs back, I'll give your son back. Pretty bold. Like, goes into the prison and goes, hey, this is what's going to happen, and confronts not only Maroni but his wife, who was there at the the craziness that went down at the end of last episode. I thought she might have been dead, so I didn't know what happened with her. But anyway, they arrange this meeting, and Mrs. Maroni shows up with the drugs, but it's a double cross, of course. She's not just going to hand over these drugs and let Oz have the upper hand. First of all, she only brings a tiny bit of the drugs to hand over. The rest is like empty bales of nothingness, right? They need these mushrooms to make this drug, and she gave him like 2 bales of mushrooms. Everything else was fake. But she also brought a whole crew to gun him down anyway, so she wasn't even going to give him the 2 bushels or whatever. But Oz has kind of recruited some of the underlings that the Falcones have used over the years, and not treated with respect, not made them made men. And Oz is like, hey, I'll take these guys, and then Sophia ends up doing the same thing on the other side with some others, but he kind of gets the lowest of the low, and I feel like Sophia gets like the next higher ups under the Falcons, right? Like, so Maroni Jr. walks up to his mom, right? Before the shit hits the fan, he's walking towards his mom, but he's like drenched in gasoline. So right when he gets to his mom and the bullets start flying, Oz does the most foul shit we've seen him do yet. He's becoming more and more irredeemable. I love it. He lights this trail of gasoline and burns them both while they're embracing. Burns them to death in this warehouse. It's gruesome, and he just stands there kind of like taking it in. Yeah, gruesome stuff. Not like Terrifier gruesome stuff, but like definitely some gangster ass shit Oz is doing here. So then we go over and we get Sophia after she has taken out her whole family, but she leaves Vidi alive so that she can access her father's hidden cache, right? And she kind of acts like she's actually might keep him around. But then when she like calls together all the underlings and announces that she's creating a new family, a new Gigante family, which I'll get to that in a second. She announces she's creating a new family. The Falcones are done. The Falcones are dead. And the new family, the Gigante crime family, is going to be the new family of Gotham. And he gets a little mouthy. He gets a little mouthy when this happens. Like, let's not be rash. Now, this is a little extreme. She shoots him in the head immediately. Immediately shoots him dead. I love it. But what I love even more than that is the callback to the comics, right? In the comics, her name was Sophia Falcone Gigante, like hyphenated, right? Um, and it was because she married into the Gigante family. She married a Gigante. But this series is using that same name, which is great. It's a great name. Using that same name, but making it as if it's her mother's maiden name. So she's now taking back this power that, all the abuse that her mother suffered, and then obviously the murder that was carried out on her by her father. Um, it's kind of a big fuck you to the whole family, right? You know what? This is the Gigante family now. Fuck the Falcones. So, I love that. I loved how they still used it. They still did the callback to the comics, but they turned it to the advantage of this story. It works so well in this story. So on the other side, Oz tries to have Maroni killed after killing his wife and son. The last thing is like, hey, we'll take out Maroni, but the assassin fails. Maroni kills him, and now he's scrambling to hide, protect his mom, and figure out what to do next, right? So he trusts Victor with the care of his mother, which says a lot about how he feels about Victor. Like, he really does have some kind of kinship and trust for Victor, and trusting his mother's care to this kid. And the kid steps up, man. He's really devoted to doing right by Oz in this story, and I don't know if this will change. Like, maybe he'll do something just horrific enough that Victor won't be able to stand for it. I could kind of see that happening, but right now Victor's all in on moving up the crime ladder. So, um, yeah, that since the failed attempt on Maroni's life, Sophia approaches Maroni with a proposal. She proposes an alliance between the Maronis and the new Gigante crime family to take out Oz first and foremost, and then to take over the city, run the entire drug trade in the city together. So then finally Oz kind of figures out a plan after being kind of just stabbed in the heart by his mother, basically saying, what kind of a man can't protect his own mother? Like, I mean, he's got mommy issues, and there's some, codependence there, and he needs her approval and is always seeking her approval, and she's also got like dementia. It's rough, but then on top of that, she puts him down. She like puts him in his place. She not even puts him in his place, just puts him down, just puts the dude down, and that's got to be a big part of his dysfunction, right? Um, but he, after all that, he finally figures something out. He reveals his plan to Victor. There's this forgotten underground tram station, right? That's just been closed down for years, complete darkness underground, and it's the perfect place. Perfect, completely dark, moist, perfect for a new grow operation for more mushrooms to create more of the drugs that they need. And just remembering back too, this is Sophia and Alberto's drug operation, really. I mean, Alberto set it up, but he was gonna, Sophia was gonna be part of it once he got her out, and Oz just took this shit. So I don't know. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild where we're at right now, and only this many episodes, right? 5 episodes. We've got 3 episodes left of this series, so we're more than halfway through now. It's just crazy how much has transpired in this little back and forth between the crime families, and then Oz being interjected in there as well. It's so damn good, man. This is like some grade A Scorsese slash like Godfather slash friggin' Sopranos. Like, it's like all of this mixed together, but with the Batman lore. And I'll be honest, this version of the Penguin, I mean, I don't even recognize, right? I recognize him from the Batman. And actually, this is even a more evolved version from the Batman. We barely knew anything about him in the Batman. This character is so evolved already in this series. We know so much about him. And at the same time, it's like, I don't recognize him as the Penguin. This is not the Penguin, but I'm 100% willing to accept him as this world's Penguin. I'm 100% on board. I think I like this Penguin way more than the Penguin in the comic books, than the Penguin in previous films. This Penguin, I just hope we get a version of him in the comics. I hope they start to evolve that character a little bit to reflect this character, because this character is so damn good. And I would love to read stories with this character at the center of it, or even just as the villain of that arc or whatever. But if it's this version, this ruthless gangster version of this highly insecure Penguin, oh, give me more. Give me more. I hope this series is not the last we see of this character. I hope it's not a one and done. I'm sure it'll be one series. I don't think there'll be several seasons of it. But I hope we get to see more of him in the movies at some point. I don't want him to be the star of the next film, which I don't even think they would think about doing it like that. They already have their plans in the works for that. But I would like to see him come back and play a big part at some point, and it be this version. Although I don't know how you intertwine them with this kind of rated R, mature version of Penguin into a PG-13 film. But hey, we've seen a lot of rated R comic book movies here lately that have worked really, really well. One that hasn't, but a lot of them that have worked really, really well. So, yeah, man, I'm like, every week I'm so excited for this series. I'm kind of dreading when it's over, because I won't have, another week of anticipation for the next episode. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think. As always, hit me up in the comments, or you can reach out on Instagram, X, TikTok, just about anywhere, at Real Brett Scott. I love talking about this stuff. And if you enjoy this sort of thing where I talk entertainment, pop culture, movies, TV, stuff like that, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you do decide to stick around and subscribe, I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.